So, inverted pyramid, then task force, mechanistic and organic structures. So it is a in total very important topics because the aims are there because you should know the organization structure and it is case to case basis. If it is a big company, what type of structure is suitable, and if it is a small company, what type of structure is required. So that is the we have to see. So, first things we have to try to understand the topology organization design. What is the organization structure specifies the various job tasks. What are the jobs are there that you have to show it and seeing and forming the divided group and how it is coordinated. Basically, to perform the tasks, so we should have some of these structures. Within these structures, that everything has to be performed and in a coordinated manner. It provides an appropriate framework for authority relationships. It indicates the hierarchy of organizational design, authority, and the reporting to relationships. It is a means of to help the management to achieve the organizational objectives. So, what are the settled by the goals? The strategy has been formed by the company. So structure is just like people are working there. They have to have some responsibility in a different position. They have to what the way the data will flow, the information will flow, and the instructions, control, and everything that has to be maintained. Just like for example, in our human body also like the same thing. Human body, as you know, there is some structure is this. We have also structures. So we have our brain, the head, and there are hands, legs, and whatever the hardware and software, everything is a part of your human body structures. So, and the nerve systems, we can see it is all a communication factor. The blood is going different to these nerves, and sensation is also. So everything are communicating and coordinating in such a way. You see the liver, kidney, you can assume these all are responsible and they are also functional. So, to correlate with our human body, same thing in the organization structures, also a organization body. I mean that's right. And it has to be. So, what are the relations that have to see? There is considerable evidence to indicate that the choice of organization strategy is determined by three basic factors: contingency factors, and this is all we can see the contingency factors. The organization size, technology used by the organizations, and the human or physical sources into product, and lastly, your environment uncertainty also to be considered. So these all are the consideration points at the time of choosing the design. Now, line organizations is the simplest form of the organization's structure. This is a line organizations. The line structure is based on the your scalar principles, which state the authority and the responsibility should flow in a direct line vertically from the highest level of the organizations to the lowest level. So there is no very complications. Straight way the structure is given. The primary emphasis on this line organization is superior and subordinate relations. What are the seniors are there and superior and their subordinate relations. So every person in the organizations is direct chain of command. So there is a for command it will be come through particular one route is there. There is a line, but I mean the concept is the line instructions. Now these see the one of the typical diagrams in the topological diagrams. The organizational design there is general manager. Then you see there are three wings. One of your manager productions, manager finance, and your manager, marketing. So you see, there's a line of hierarchy. One of the line things. Just to see the workers, yes, supervised by the foreman. Foreman is the like the seniors, superior. That foreman again it is pass on the instruction. What are the feedback or information to the deputy manager productions, and again the above the deputy manager to the manager of the production. So it is a totally your line management, line work. So similarly, in the finance manager, there are some assistants there, then accounting, the deputy manager, and finance manager. And there, in this case, salesman, officer. So this is the typical idea of your line line organizations. Okay. So now I think now we have to move forward. Lead and staff organizations in the part. There are most business organizations, except the very small, have the type of structures. Everywhere structure is there. Uh, uh, because of the growing complex nature of these things, the problems in the line executives have become sufficiently complicated. The line executives, being the generalized, need the advice of the personnel and specialized knowledge and functions to the tackle these problems. The line and the staff organization, the line authority remains the same as it does in the line organizations. The authority flows from the top to bottom, and line executives perform the major functions. The staff functions, support and the advice of the line executives. So here, basically, you see the role of a line executives are very important because most of the major functions they are dealing, and your even though in the staff functioning also they are supporting the things. So this way they are as a interface, they are interfacing both the top management and the bottom function, bottom department also. So here one of the diagram that is for your uh, board of directors are there. Then after that your financial advisors there. Then managing director, manager in a manager HR is also there. A little complex type, not as usual. Earlier we have seen the line organizations, not like that. Here, some differences are there, and some hierarchy is also mentioned. So, manager HR are reporting to managing director. Manager legal, that is a law department, they are also directly reporting to managing director. Even some assistant of the managing director, they are also even part of your managing directors. But in the below level, manager 1, division 1, division 2, division 3, they are individually are reporting to managing director. So here some of the root of the things are showing. Finally, it will be the board of directors. So now we have to see the line and staff organizations, the mixing line and staff organization more. So what are the advantages of this? The main advantage of line and staff organization is that the staff specialized lead in the line of the botheration of concentrating on specialized functions like selection, training, development, wages, salary, administration, accounting, public relations, etc. So it is some sort of specific things are there, so that they are specialized on this field and they are so that is the one of the advantages there. So what are the disadvantages? That also you have to know. Disadvantage is the structure is that the since functionaries are not accountable on the total results, so they are may not be performing their duties effectively because even individually they have to do all these things. So overall accountability are they are not responsible for that. So some sort of loopholes or some sort of disadvantage have to be this. Now let's see. We have to go for some topological organizational design. This is one of the another functional organizational structures. Here we have to see the functional organizational structures. So where mainly level are managing director, then after that your general manager, Under the general manager, there are so many section-wise chief manager. Chief manager productions, chief manager marketing, chief manager finance, chief manager human resource management, chief manager R&D. So uh, they all are this hierarchy level. They are reporting to general manager. One general manager, and there are four chief managers. And within this chief manager, there again they have some manager also. So this is the way the structure is going. There is a functional. Here in this case, you see the production one of the functions, your marketing one of the functions, and your finance one of the functions. Human resource HR is one of the functions. That way, the being differently, the trees are going like this. So it is all your the diagram is showing your functional organization structure. Now we have to see what is the advantage and disadvantage of particular these study. Now, functional organization structure, the main advantage of this type of structure are that the grouping people together on the basis of their specialized experts. You see here the finance, the chief manager under the same, so all the finance teams are there. Here is a group. HR is another group. Production another group. So all the specialized expertise are in a particular one of the they are grouping. So within a group, it is advantage because they can sharing their ideas. If any problem are there, they can mutually they can understand and solve the problem. So organization can be facilitate both their utilization and their coordination in the service of the whole organization. So if any problem coming, any related to finance, suppose any problems, so that finance department, because of their working as a group, so there will be chances of sort out. I mean, they can solve the problems easily. There is no single man. So there's a group is there. So it is a some sort of advantage. So and lot of opportunities also come. Promotion, career development, whatever. Now coming to disadvantage. One of the major disadvantages of this form organizations is growth of this sectional interest, which may conflict. Because when you are talking about the growth, that time it will be a lot of conflict will come and needs to be organization as a whole because both are equally contributed. So growth are individual growth are very difficult sometimes you cannot identify the things. So these are some of the advantages there. Now we have to see the another things. There is a product-based organizations structure. It is a product-based organizations. Here you see the managing director. After that, the director of R&D, director of finance, and director of corporate marketing, director of human resource management. So managing director. After that, there are four directors, and in this case you see the four general managers are also there. They are directly reporting to managing director. Whatever the directors are there, but ultimately it is managing by the managing director all the four areas. The four one vacancies purposes. One is your ambiguities, and the one is your concentric and your steroid suppliers. So general manager here there are four the cosmetics suppliers, steroid suppliers, and your antibiotics and vaccine. It is actually typically one of the pharma company diagrams. So that's why the in terms of medical terms, the general manager are appointed for different wings in the medicine areas, antibiotic areas, vaccine areas. One general manager for the more cosmetics areas, and this is the steroid and stuff like that another part. So anyway, it's typical diagram. So it's taken as a part of your pharma institutions. So then apart from all this, suppose for example, the general manager reckon vaccines. So they are again downloaded. There are one of the levels are there. There's the manager productions, then your manager sales and marketing, manager accounts, then manager human resources. So this is the your product-based organizations structures. Now let's see what is the advantage and one it is a disadvantage that we have to analyze it. Now, the functional organization structures, so it is the topics. So, this form of organizations, your product-based organizations, this form of organization structure is adopted by large companies. When the company is very big, producing a wide range of products. As we have seen, just there are some vaccines also there, antibiotics is also there, cosmetics, the different product are there. So companies producing a wide range of products, so that their activities are grouped on a basis of the individual products manufactured by the company. So advantage is there. The product organizations is there. It enables the diversification of the products to take place with minimal effort because the diversification is very easy. Another advantage is that it can cope better with technological change by grouping people with expertise and their specialized equipment in one major unit. So the main disadvantage is one of the product organization is that each product divisions may promote its own product group in a way that creates problems to their product divisions of the company. So disadvantage is this: the product division may promote in their own product, and it has created problems to other products. So okay, then we have to go for hybrid, some hybrid organization structure, that is topology of the organizational design. That is your uh, some president is there in the hybrid organization. The president is there. Then some accounting and finance, and then your vice president auto parts, vice president engineering materials, and again the below level, that is your sales, human resource marketing, are there. So this is the type of your hybrid organization structures. So now after that, you have to see in the hybrid organization structures, in these structures, what are the advantage and what are the disadvantage. Now, hybrid form combines features of both functional and divisional forms. When an organization starts to get very large, it establishes some self-contained units. The functional part of the organization is reflected in the departments, centralized at the corporate level. However, each of the product divisions has specialized in functional areas for the necessary assistance. This is the way hybrid are functioning. Important advantage is having the hybrid, that is the overall organization enjoys the benefits of both functionals and the product structures. Here you see the things are decentralized, some of the things. So that's why we are getting more effective way we can function it, and people can enjoy the responsibility and equally distributed. Overall, the things are there. So this type of structure is good. Most of the companies are now in a hybrid mode. Hybrid structures are going on, where we can get overall benefits. It provides the opportunity to improve coordination both with the among the some opportunities that we can coordinate in a better way and improve. We can do the improvement also. Now, everywhere some disadvantage are also there. So let's see what are the disadvantage. So it enables another important advantage. It enables the organizations to pursue and adopt the strategy within the product divisions. So this is another advantage. We can adopt the strategy with the same network or same forms, so that we can achieve more efficiency and functionality also. and it helps proper alignment of the corporate divisional goals. So what are the company has decided that easily we can align it, we can adopt it very easily in this type of formation of hybrid structures. Now disadvantages. What are the major disadvantages? Hybrid structure is that it often leads to excessive duplications of activities because duplication chances are more. So between the functions and the divisions, repetitions or duplications of chances. Another disadvantage is tendency to create conflict between the headquarters and the divisional functions. So sometimes it may create a conflict also. So uh, keeping on view of these 2 points, negative points, but most of the things are in positives. So this structure is uh, good. Formal and informal organizations. Uh, to clearly define jobs, each bearing a defined amount of responsibility and authority, the formal organizations lays down formal procedures, rules and regulations which guide to the behavior of the individual performance of their actions. Informal organizations is defined it outcomes of the social interactions. What the way the people are talking in the outside, not in a formal. So that takes place between the individuals and the formal organizations. So when people work together, they tend to form informal work groups, often spontaneously because of physical proximity, uh, then your communality, or the interests, etc. So these informal groups are collectively known as informal organizations. So when they are in a split way, not in a particular case, and they are talking each other or something as a group and informally, so that you we can say is the informal organization or divisions, right? So formal and informal organizations, then again you have to clarify more. So in informal organizations can benefit the formal organizations in the following way. So informal organization, what the way it can be benefited when the formal organization it serves as a useful channel of communications. You can say I can give you an example of things. Sometimes a lot of the ideas and interactions can be done in the lunch times, maybe in the breakfast time, in the coffee area. There you can see they are together. Lot of informal communication, talking are there. From there you can collect a lot of information which are really benefited for the company. Maybe in the formal way they cannot expose, they cannot explain the things because in the formal there is a lot of bindings are there, a lot of rules are there. So uh, that's why there is one of the good communication channel in the informal. So it reduces the undesirable effects of the rigidities of the formal organization because when in the formal organizations, their rule and regulation everybody are maintained. There are chances of interactions is less. So there are chances of getting a good decisions are less. So that's why informal organizations, if it is informal organizations, then there are chances of benefit will be more. See, it provides a safety valve for employee emotions because if you are in a particular bounding areas, so you will feel is a bonded labor, as a slave, you will feel some slaves. If you are interacting with the other departments, so you feel belongings, okay, I'm also a part of these things. So that thing create some of the, if you express your emotion to others, other colleagues also, other department colleagues also, so this way it will be a good effect. Now this coming to the centralization. Centralization refers to because centralized, all the decision making are centralized in one point, and top management gives the maximum decisions. Whatever the decision are coming to the sub lower level personals and the organizations to make the decisions, then it can be said that there is a decentralization in the organization. When the your lower level personals are governments are taking decisions, so that case we can see it's a decentralization. Now, in a decentralization organizations, action can be taken more quickly to solve the problems, and more people provide the inputs into decisions. for farms having a number of plants which are located in the different places. Decentralization is more beneficial with most of the large organized companies now preferring to make organizations more flexible and responsive. So there has been a marked change towards decentralized decision making. Now, the main advantage of the decentralization are it reduces the burden of the top management by the uh, freeing them from many operational decisions and enables them to concentrate on their strategic responsibilities. So that is one of the advantages. When power and authority also responds to also distributed, it can contribute to the staff motivation by enabling middle and lower level management to get a taste of responsibility. So that's why I'm telling you. It means, when you are given a power, so you have to exercise. If you don't have a power, no responsibility, then you may just only follow the instruction on. So your decision, your idea are not you're not able to contribute. So and by encouraging the use of the knowledge, innovations, and initiative by all employees, the topology of the organizational design hierarchy. Now, you see, the main disadvantage now everywhere we have seen any structure there is something. So now disadvantage it requires a greater coordination because a lot of coordination is required. When you are giving a lot of responsibilities as a organizer, you have to see everybody are functioning or not because responsibilities are distributed. This is not in your control some of the things. So you have to coordinate, you have to pursue the things. Things are moving or not correctly. All the units are equally moving or not. So coordination work is tremendous. So against the interest of the owner. So it can lead to the inconsistency. So chances of inconsistency. Some of the departments are leading fast. Some of the departments are little bit lagging. So you have to somehow you have to manage. So maybe in the client side also, especially in the service industries. So that is some inconsistency chances of things. Decentralization does require a plentiful supply of the couple of motivation managers who are able to cope with increased responsibility, which decentralization bring about. So now you see that now we're coming to the vertical structures. The vertical structures, the vertical organizations like this is shown. Their levels are there, and their communications are hierarchical way to be commented. As such, more people have to communicate in the top management through the intervening layers. So there are so many layers are there. It will go to the ultimately the so it is a vertical sections. So advantage is it give better communication because it is passing through a lot of hierarchies. So there are chances of mistakes, chances is less, and values and the goal are to be considered because observed by everybody, so many levels. So this is one of the advantage. These organizations have the ability to sustain a very high degree of specialization of the functions and the roles. And this one, the disadvantage, what are the disadvantages? Disadvantage is can you consume more time? Because when the hierarchy level is more, so many layers are there. So definitely it will be take some, as usual, some time will take time. So communication is also time and communication also because you have to always pursue, all have to always check it. So that way it will take it. Chances of delay is also there because the decision making cannot be immediately cannot get it. As the particle structures go hand to hand with the formality and standardization, the scope for initiatives and taking the operational levels become limited. You have to limit some of things. Now, characteristics of the original organizational structure. The original structure is created around 3 to 4, 5 courses. Then vertical hierarchy is flattened for to reduce the level, supervision levels, and it is done by the combining of the fragmented tasks, eliminating the work and fail to add values. So this is the way we can have a horizontally the thing so that your value can be maintained. Multidisciplinary and cross-functional, that is self-managed teams, and your you can maintain your functional like there's a finance, marketing, human resource, then your quality control are created to handle the more core processes, and each team is trusted with the core process. So customer satisfaction, net profits, primary driver, measure of the performance as such for the horizontal structures. Then employees are brought into direct contact with the customers as well as the supplier also. So all employees should be provided with the all data, and they have been trained for analyzing the things, and also they have to all are encouraged to develop the multiple skills. Should be I think some reward system should be there, and horizontal organizations need a build to corporate culture and openness. So that cooperation and the collaboration is like this. So okay, I think. So when an organizational takes a big project, now we have to give you some project organizations. So project organizations is when the organizations you undertake a big project or a number of small projects, it creates a organizations for the completion of the same. The size of the project team varies from one project to another, and the project manager is quite challenging. He is responsible for the completion of the project. Things. Successful completion of the project hierarchy levels, the organization's design depends on the some of the coordination. This main thing is the coordinates and the activities in the project teams, and how he utilizes the advice or assistance of the internal experts and those belonging in the external agencies organization. So now we have to see some of the diagram. Then it will be more easy because you see here the general manager is there. There are project team, project one, project two, project like this. So every project is a project. There is a project manager should be there. Now you see in this case there are project managers under the project manager. There are product management, then your engineering, quality, HRM, sales, and research are as a team. There's all are team members, and directly it is there reporting to project manager. So this is the your project organization team structure. Now we have to see here the suitability. Now project organizations is suitable when the company gets a one-time assignment or a huge contract, or when the company faces a unique challenge. For example, project 2 years or maybe 4 years, it may be depending on the nature of project. So there are some specific assignment is there. So what are the advantage of this project organizations? The participating specialized of the project team get opportunity to promote because you have a chance to promote yourself because the specialization field is there. Experience and your effective accomplishment of the goals of the project. If you can target, you can finish before the target. So that achievement you can gain. The motivates them to make maximum contributions to the execution of the project. So implementation, execution, accomplishment of the particular project within the goal targeted. So all these are aspects of there. There's a lot of chances of promoting things. It facilitates steady communications between the project manager and the team members. So all these things are facilitates the communication between the project. It provides flexibility in handling the various tasks. So step-up structures are basically important because you see in this case all are directly reporting to project manager. So communication is very real. Communication are very fast. Now the major disadvantage, as we have seen everywhere, some of the disadvantages also there. The project organizations are the entire project becomes meaningless. Suppose if it is not there, the major are there. If if the project manager fails to coordinate, mind it, here actually the point to be noted. If the project manager fails to coordinate the activities of the project properly, project will be totally failed. It will be flop show. So most of the project are stopped or project are not completing in time, target are not fulfilling, always extension, delay, only because of the coordinations. Because project manager are not coordinating, timely decision is not taken because of the members of the project organizations have to sever the contracts with the mainstream organization life. As such, they may be bypassed when opportunities arise in their respective fields or functions. The job of the project manager becomes very difficult because he has to deal with specialized from a number of diverse fields. Because manager should be having HR, good HR persons, should have a technically sound, skilled, and timely has to take it. So the role is very important. Expertise, expert is required in this case. Very specialized persons are required in the project management. Now, the matrix. Now, another organizations that are very useful is the matrix organizations. In the matrix organizations, it is a combine of two forms: decentralized, functionals, and the product. It is built around a project which is headed by a project manager. Again, this is a project, I can tell you, this is a combination of things. And project manager is to be headed by these things. In the matrix organization, the matrix organizations is different from the functional organizations. In the functional organizations, the project manager is given complete responsibility. Okay, uh, for the project as well, and the resources needed for its completion. But in the matrix organizations, the project manager has to share the resources with the rest of the enterprise. In the matrix systems, you see here the project manager are sharing the resources with the rest of the enterprises. So that is the changes are there. That is the differences. Matrix structure is used in advertising agencies, aerospace firms, R&D laboratories, construction companies, hospitals, government agencies, universities, management consulting firms, and entertainment companies, where the matrix structures are used. Now, there are some of the typical diagrams shown the structure, how the matrix organizations are like this. Managing director in the top, then after general manager. Under the general manager, there are different managers there, different functionality, productions, then your resource, then your finance, marketing, and your manager R&D. Then again, all this group as a group, they are also there. There's a project manager, and again you have to based on the specializations. Suppose for the productions, there are two project manager you have to appoint. Project manager one, project manager two. So project manager are basically the production part. Project one manager is seeing the production specialist. Project two for the your production specialist. So there are two given. There are two project managers given. And similarly, in the HR, there are HR specialists are there. Again, as there are two managers are given so that subsequently they can do it. One is redundancy or any substitutions are there. So there will be chances of loopholes are not there. Immediately they can do the work in a very coordinated manner. So that is the things are important where the you have to put the specialization field more. So some of the advantages of the matrix structures. In facilities coordination when the organizations has multiple complex and the interdependent activities. So here one of the things, multiple complex and your interdependent activities. This is one of the facilities. Number two, it ensures the effective utilization of these services of the people with highly specialized skills. In this case, there are two specialization persons are. That means the utilization are highly availability. Availability is high. If one person is absent, others can be both. You do not have to wait for the decision purposes. At a time, both the specialists cannot be taking leave. One person will be there. So it is ensuring your specialization work will be continued. There is no stop. There are no inconsistency also there. The direct and frequent contact between the different functional specialists in the matrix systems with better communications and more flexibility. Because suppose you are want to take some decisions from your superiors, so you are trying the contact. One person is absent but not responding, or maybe in the meeting, you need not to wait. You can connect with the other specialists, which are in the same field. So you can take your decisions within a time. So time frame within the time frame you can complete your project. So it is a better. Most of the companies are taking it this way. So disadvantage, as it will be there. Now we have to keep in mind the disadvantage part also. The structure breaks the unity of the command concept. So sometimes it breaks some of the unity component. Power struggles between the product because everybody are specialized, so there may be a power struggle will be there, and sharing the same set of resources. So there may be some of the competition will be there. Functional within the personnel, that's the chances. Material organizations incurs high cost than the organizations conventional because the conventional hierarchy structures are nominal, but in this case we are putting more specialized persons more. So that is the cost will be increased in this type of matrix organization. Cost definitely will be increased. That has to be compromised. If you want to get it better, then definitely the cost will be high. So a virtual organizations is a small, now coming to the virtual organizations. The virtual organizations is a small core organizations that outcomes the major businesses functions. It is highly centralized and little departmentalized. So virtual organizations creates a network relationships with other organizations, agencies located anywhere in the world for the purpose of contracting out functions like manufacturing, distributions, marketing, R&D, export, import, whatever the things. So you have to discuss globally. So that type of is basically the networks, virtual organizations through these network systems. You can there's another type of your organization structure. The networking is done through the electronic technology as such, and the partnerships between the virtual organizations are other things are very important, and it is very common nowadays because Amazon, big company, they are doing these virtual organizations are here. Now the one of the diagrams I'm showing, that is one of the typical diagram. The diagram itself shows all these things. You see, the central organizations are located in the Sydney or Australia. There are some Australia. There are central organizations of this. Now they are connecting these R&D is the consulting firm. They are in the USA. They are located in USA, and the manufacturing company are located in the Thailand, and your distribution is are in the Japan, located in the Tokyo and who are the distribution company, and manufacturing company located in Pune or India somewhere. So this way you see here the central organizations through this virtual network. This is the way you can coordinate it. So this is one of the example diagrams there, virtual organization structures. Now, what is the advantage of these virtual organizations? Through virtual organizations, it is possible to create best of best of everything. Because organizations, because each partner brings its core competence. Everybody, where they are located, their core competence is there, and they can communicate. So virtual organizations allow someone with an innovative idea and little money to successfully compete against the large companies. This is possible because of flexible natures. This is possible only because of flexible natures. So you can give a idea, different ideas. Now the disadvantages. Everywhere now we have seen, even we are getting a lot of advantage. Disadvantages also. What is the disadvantage? It reduces management's control over the key part of the business because located in different areas, only the communication, only the network only you have dealing with the things. So control sometimes are being compromised because it will be reduced sometimes. Reliability of the partners maybe sometimes is doubtful because virtually you are talking all this in reality it may or may not be its actual positions what they are saying. So that sometimes the reliability may be a question mark, it may be the doubtful. So this is the one of the things. Then your boundaryless organizations. There is no boundary, no things. So boundaryless organizations seeks to remove the vertical or horizontal boundaries within the organizations and to break down external barriers between the companies and its outcomes, customers and the suppliers. So once the management removes the vertical boundaries, the structure of the organization looks more like a silo than a pyramid because there is no boundary because there is no surroundings. So break down the vertical boundaries and the management adopts the following strategy. Some of these strategies they have taken, creating cross hierarchical teams so that there is some sort of regulation, some sort of your control should be there. So you have to create some of the cross hierarchical teams. Encouraging the participant decision making. You have to encourage the decision. Everybody should be this part of these things. And making a 360-degree performance appraisals. This peer relationship, you have to see his individual target, his supervisor targets, company goal, what are the targets are there, all the targets have to be met and his the commitment should be there and what the way he is dealing with the customers, suppliers, that also to be counted. Altogether it is a 360-degree performance appraisals. We are talking about. It is also now presently are very useful. Means you target you whatever the your job you target it. And you see where you are now. If you are lagging, then you have to cope up your situations, add on the things, responsibility. You have to take some responsibility as per your own capacities, and you have to pay for it accordingly and target it. Then, if you slip it, it is your responsibility. So, that is a part of this performance you have to improve, and price should be increased. And the other part is you have to see what the way you are dealing with the others. That is a personal relationship. Then there will be very successful organizations when the no barriers appears. To reduce the barriers of the horizontal boundaries, the management adopts the following strategies. Some of these strategies are taken by the company um, to replace the functional department. So replacing the functional departments with cross-functional teams and organizing activities around the process. Using lateral transfers. So it should be a uniform way. Lateral transfer will be there. Rotating people in and out different functional area. People can move from one section to other sections. For your nutrition programs, for inductions, to learn something. So there should be a rotation should be there. The external boundaries can be reduced through practices like strategic alliances, customer organization linkages, and telecommunicating mainly with the network computers through the major advantage. So franchises or the strategic alliances are there. Customers are free to uh, go from here to there, no problems. So some sort of you have to reduce the external. So strategy should be there like this, so that people can willingly do their jobs and give a more product. It fosters the teamwork among the employees, give some of the speed of the employees, some chill, and they have to agreeable. All these things are agreeable. Yes, fine, no problem. It ensures speedy communication within the organizations, infra-organizational communications within the organization, that's the intra-organizations, and between the organizations and the customers, suppliers. There are two things are in the communication part. One is your internal within the organizations, department to department you are talking. Another thing is your customer with the customer, organizations versus customer and suppliers. There is the inter-organizational communication part. So this is the way you can see. It can help the competitiveness of the global economy also. So in principle, drawback of this form of the organization is that it's difficult to clarify, establish the relationship between the superiors and subordinates in the organization. So this is one of the drawbacks. Now, organizations with this type of structure put the customers at the top, and now we have to talking about the inverted pyramid. Inverted pyramid. So it's a type of the structure putting the customers in the top and give them the most important role in the driving the business. Now the customers are the driving force. Frontline employees like sales, representatives, people in charge of the help desk, who are come in the direct contact with the customers, are also given a similar position. The chief executive officer of the organization is the bottom of the structures. Surprisingly, Amazon, Flipkart, and now see they are like this. Thus, in this form of organizations, the role of the management changes from a commanding one to supporting. Now I can show the diagram to be more clear. See this diagram, the inverted pyramid structure. In this structure, you see the CEO is the bottom. It's inverted. The pyramid is inverted. The customer is the top, because every time you are dealing with the customers, taking the inputs from the customers, and then if any problem, the customer level is not solving, then it will go to the frontline employer. They can help the things. Then after that, if any criticality, then supporting staff will see, and finally it will reach the CEO. So sometimes the CEO is may not be aware of all these things. In the customer levels, everything are solved, everything are already decided by the customers themselves. They have taken all the frontliner or everything, they have sorted out the things. So this is the type of organization like this. Mostly the service oriented service centers or companies are like this pyramid structure type. So that's why the more and more the salary are increased in the customer levels, those who are dealing with the directly customer levels. They are well paid, they're skilled enough, HR relationships, and behavioral patterns, they are good. So this is the way they are increased the things, and companies that way. So this structure is being successful, and the pyramids are successful, those who are in the service oriented organizations. So I think most of the things I have covered. So I think now some of the advantages of the see inverted pyramid, the structure gives a fast preference to the customers, becomes easy of the organizations to know the customer's choice, what are the choice, they can only know, work out on these the appropriate strategies, and they can give him satisfaction also. In this form of organization, the employees are given more responsibility and authority than the top managements. But disadvantage is only thing inverted pyramid related to the formulation of these strategies. The frontliner foremen are not quite equipped in the formulations like this. So I think okay, this is the way now I can complete the sessions. Most of the things are covered. That is also here. So okay, thank you very much. Next time.
तो एहसास है कि मैं मुझ में था ही नहीं तू मेरा मेरा सारा तेरा मेरी बातों पे कर ले यकीन कि ओ साथिया साथिया तेरे बिन जिया क्या जिया कि ओ साथिया साथिया तेरे बिन जिया
किलर के साथ पावर नहीं माइंड गेम खेलना चाहिए
दिल को जरूर
अक्षय
तेरी